Hello, we are here on a garden on Box Street. We are with
Cali Waldrop.
Hi and welcome to the program. When did you start your garden or purchase your house?
So I bought my home in October of 2020. I started with the foundation plantings around the house in the spring of 2021, and then I became really interested in like urban farming and front yard gardens and like self-sustainability. So in spring of 2022, so last year, I started with this planting in the front, and then in the fall of last year, I added this perennial pollinator garden off to the side. So this garden in the front has only been here for about a year.
Okay. And something I think I noticed unique about your house than most of the other houses on the walk today is that this is mostly grown food, not even just all flowers. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think that there is a lot of beauty to be found in edible foods. We don't always have to grow like beautiful perennials that we can't do anything with. There's plenty of edible foods that are just as gorgeous in the garden. So I like to grow a lot of herbs, like this right here is fennel, which has just taken off everywhere. There's edible flowers such as borage and nasturtium, which are also help with pest control and pollinators, bringing pollinators into the garden. And like I like to intersperse beans and eggplants into my perennial garden because I just think they're beautiful. So there's a lot of beauty to be had in edible food rather than just like beautifully landscaped perennial gardens.
Okay. And you said you started this in 2020, so have you gotten a lot of food so far from the garden?
Yeah, so last year at the end of the year, right before the first frost, I harvested everything that was left on my plants and I brought it all in a hamper, and it was 75 pounds of eggplant and peppers and tomatoes and all kinds of stuff. And I give away stuff all year to my neighbors. I've taken some up to senior centers. It's so much abundance. Like I could never handle it all.
Yeah, I see your sign here that says stability is awesome, grow food, not lawns. And also to please help yourself to anything ripe. Yeah. So you had your neighbors come by and grab stuff?
Yeah. I have people walk by all the time and are like, oh, this is gorgeous. What is that? And I'm like, here, you want some snap peas? Here, you want some lettuce? I deliver it to all of my neighbors as well. But yeah, I mean, the sign is just because, I want people to feel welcome in my garden. That's why I put it in the front yard. I want it to be more of a community thing than just me. I want to share it with everyone. I don't want to just hoard it to myself.
Yeah, something unique that the viewers might not realize just from the camera views, but her garden is mostly in the front yard and only in the front yard, so there's not actually a walk in the backyard here today. So what interests you in doing the front yard and not, normally people, their sanctuaries are in the backyard?
Right. So a couple things. First, I have 3 dogs. And anyone who gardens knows that keeping their dogs out of their garden is impossible. Especially a lot of the fertilizers we use are just like smell really good to dogs, so they want to dig in it. So that was the first reason. Second reason, I have better sunlight in the front yard because it is northern facing. The southern kind of gets kind of warm, but for vegetables, you want it to be sunny without being too hot. And then also I just wanted it to be like a part of the community. I didn't want to just be stuck in my backyard all the time. I like talking to people, if that isn't evident already. So I like sharing it with people. So that's why I put it in my front yard.
Okay, yeah, it's really cool. It was unique when I live around the block, so I just noticed that this garden had popped up in the last year or two. Mm-hmm. It looks really cool. So of course we're here today because of the Garden City Garden Club. When did you join the club? How did you get interested in the walk, and who roped you into this?
So it's actually funny. So I've been getting my dirt delivered for the last 2 years from Panetta's nursery. Okay. The last 3 years actually, and it's been the same delivery man every time, and he keeps telling me that I should join the garden club.
Okay.
This year he was like, I think his sister is in the garden club somehow. He might be Stacy's brother. I'm not sure. But anyways, he's like, I'm just giving your information. You're going to be on the garden walk this year. And I was like, okay, fine, if you do all the work. So he roped me in, and then I joined the garden club as well, just like, meet everyone. And I have been in grad school up until I just graduated in April, so I haven't had free time, but now I have free time. So that's how I got roped into all of this.
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. And I know I asked you this before, but what is your favorite part of the garden that you have created so far?
That's very difficult. I'm just going to say my favorite part of gardening in general. I like that the garden is never finished. There's no such thing as a sit back and enjoy garden. It's never ending. There's always something to do, and things change every day. So like the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I get my cup of coffee, come out here in my robe, like I'm sure all my neighbors love, and I look for what's different because every single day something blooms, something pops up, I find a weed, something's taller, I have a zucchini that's ready, so I like that it's always changing, always new.
All right, awesome. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, just I hope people can appreciate that anyone can grow food for themselves. It's not hard, and that we could really be a true, actual garden city if everyone just planted a few things and shared with their neighbors. It's not hard, and it's very easy to do, and I hope that people can enjoy that for themselves.
Yeah, sure. There seems like there's a lot of encouragement on this block in Garden City. There's a lot of gardens and stuff like that.
My other neighbors down the street, they also have a front yard garden. They just started this year, and they have the similar mentality of they want to share it with people. And I just think it's great. I think we could really be a garden city if we all pitched in a little bit.
Awesome. Okay, this is the 29th annual Garden City Garden Club Garden Walk. We're checking out here from Box Street. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to the 29th Annual Garden City Garden Club Garden Walk. Here I am with Walter with Walters and Sheila's Garden. They're both neighbors and they started this amazing garden together. They are on Henry Ruff between Barton and Sheridan, and the garden starts at Barton and ends at Sheridan. The entire yard is all filled with flowers and healthy growth. Some of your garden products here, right?
Yes, we just went out and we're showing a few people what we do. And what we do is we grow food that we enjoy eating. And we harvest almost every night. We'll come out, the neighbors from the neighborhood will come over and harvest some lettuce and carrots, onions, broccoli, cabbage, whatever we're growing at the time. And they'll take it home and it kind of helps with the budget. We know what we're eating because we try and do everything organically. We have been making and building our own soil now for a lot of years. It is a lot of fun. It takes a little bit of time, but we start everything. Mother Nature just blesses us with rain, and we absolutely just stand back and let things grow. And it's amazing what you can grow in your yard. We took a piece of property here between our homes that was being used for nothing.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. We were talking before this that this was nothing a year ago.
Nothing.
You guys just started
We
this.
pay taxes on it. We cut the grass, and we decided to go ahead and put some raised beds in. And I said, let's do this. Let's go ahead and venture out from just our little small garden next to the house, and let's build something between us that we can eat off of and that we can share with the neighbors. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
awesome.
a lot of fun.
And you said, I know we said this started this past year, but how long have you been in Garden City?
We've been in this house now for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay, 30 this year, and it's amazing. We're right out here on Henry Ruff. A lot of people stop, and they're just amazed at what you can do. And I just encourage and challenge more people in our city. We're called Garden City for a reason. And it doesn't have to always be flower gardens. Let's grow some vegetable gardens. Let's just reach out, let's grow some food. It's healthy, it's good, it's fun, and it just brings the community together.
Yeah, I heard you before you were talking to some other residents. A long time ago, the garden, everyone had a garden.
Everybody had a garden.
And you were talking about how we kind of gotten away from that, and we should get back to it.
Well, they called them victory gardens during the war and after the war, but they did that to supplement their food. And the way things are going today, I really do believe with all of the recalls, with all of the problems in the grocery stores, just-in-time delivery with the shelves being empty, we just decided to go ahead and grow a little bit of our own to take the pressure off of the farmers and to just have a good time.
Yeah, and you were telling me that you grow a lot, and it's been feeding your family. It's obviously feeding Sheila's and neighbors too. Neighbors stop by and
all of the neighbors, the whole neighborhood. I went around prior to starting the garden and asked if it would be a problem if I grew out front right on Henry Ruff. I asked all the neighbors, and they loved the idea. They would walk by and see my own garden, and I said, well, let's do this as a collective, and let's bring the whole neighborhood together, and that's what we've done. And everybody is free to walk over here at any time and take anything that they want out of the garden. That's what we've put it here for.
That's awesome. These are some of the vegetables you've gotten, so like even today?
Just a few things that we just pulled up just a few minutes ago, just showing folks how productive the garden can be. Zucchini, cucumbers, onions. It doesn't get any fresher than this. Celery. We've got kale, potatoes, just so many different things, cabbage and broccoli, and it goes on and on. We've got over 20 different crops.
That's awesome. You're saying some of them are even, you're part of some experimental, like some of the tomatoes and stuff, or you kind of the first to even grow them?
First to even grow them. We do a lot of trial runs for some of the seed companies. I've been doing that for years, and it is a way to get some input from the community and from the different growing zones. The seed companies will reach out to people like myself and
that's awesome.
And say, would you participate? Would you like to grow some seeds for us? And give us a report. And it's just a lot of fun. You don't know what you're going to, but the tomato plants are just full of tomatoes. We'll harvest, I've got, I think, 35 tomato plants in the ground right now, and they'll produce 20 to 25 pounds of tomatoes every plant.
That's awesome. And I don't think people realize how easy it is. Like you were saying, there are times that you guys are actively cooking dinner and like, oh, I need an onion, and just go out to the garden, grab it, and come back in and start cooking.
Absolutely, go out and just pick it, and it doesn't get any fresher than that. And if you've never, well, most people have only experienced what they buy in the grocery store. And it's been harvested and transported sometimes all the way across the country before it even ends up in the stores. But to walk out and pick a tomato, to make some zucchini bread, to cut up some cucumbers with some sour cream, and or however you eat it, put it in your salads, a fresh onion, just the smell and the taste is completely and totally different from what you will experience it from any grocery store.
That's awesome. And I guess, it seems like you're almost kind of the expert. You have your own private garden. You started this garden a year ago.
Yes.
Do you have any advice to people that are just, this is cool. I want to be able to grab an onion and go out and eat and cook dinner with it. What advice do you have to get started, or how do you recommend when people ask that?
It's easy to get started. You just have to have a little bit of time. Set aside some room in your yard, whether it's a 4x8 raised garden or an in-ground garden. Add a little bit of soil to it. Work the soil. Plant some seeds. Follow the directions on the pack. It's not rocket science. Okay. It's really not. It's easy, and more people should really experience because it's just rewarding.
Yeah.
To be able to come out here, and it's very tasty too.
Yeah, that definitely seems like it.
Very tasty.
Well, I appreciate your time today, Walter. Thank you for taking a minute to talk with us.
I appreciate it.
This is from Henry Ruff between Belton and Sheridan, like I said, the 29th annual Garden City Garden Club Garden Walk. Thanks, Walter.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to the 29th annual Garden City Garden Club Garden Walk. Currently, we are at the household of Jeff and Mary on Beechwood Street in Garden City. Something cool about this house that we don't normally get to do, they were also in the Garden Walk in 2016. So we're going to take a look back at what it used to look like then, and we're going to show you some videos of what it looked like today and see if you can spot some of the differences. All right, why don't we take a look.
And welcome back to a house here on John Hawk Street. We are here for the 29th annual Garden City Garden Walk, and I am Brecken Millner, and I'm here with Colleen here. And we just wanted to ask you a few questions about this house. Hopefully, if this weather will cooperate with us just a little bit longer, we will be able to get through this. But all right, so Colleen.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful home here,
Thank you.
beautiful yard. Everything about this is just absolutely stunning. Tell us a little about this. How long have you been in the gardening business? How long have you been doing this yourself?
Sure.
I'm sure this house took a lot of work.
So the house was built in 1919. Our yard is one of the original plots to Garden City, so it's a half acre. They built these for sustainability, and that was what the draw was for Garden City. We fell in love with the yard, and that was one of the main reasons why we bought the house, and we've been rehabbing it. We moved in 2019 and have just slowly been working on it.
Great. How long have you guys been Garden City residents overall?
12 years.
Okay. All right, great.
12 years.
I wanted to say, what is absolutely like your favorite overall part of this yard?
My tree, because
Okay.
I feel like it's the centerpiece of the garden. And every year I've totally rehabbed it. It was just hostas, and I've been thinning it and adding new features to it. So that's my
It's
favorite.
beautiful, absolutely
Thank you.
beautiful. I see there's a lot of wood crafting here, a lot of wood workmanship. Tell us a little bit about that.
So my wife is a carpenter, and we have a small business, 1226 Expressions. We can custom make anything, but any features that you see in the yard that are wooden, she's made herself. All of our fencing, and she's tried to incorporate a lot of the flower beds into seating so people can sit on them. We have a pergola out back that we really enjoy, around the fire pit. And we have a booth at the Town Peddler on Plymouth Road. And we have a few items here today for sale, but we can customize anything, and it's just something we do on the side.
People are definitely going to have to come check that out. You guys have some amazing products there. I've seen it myself, and it's they look really good.
Thank you.
Last question. For people that want to get into gardening or anything of the sort and want to use your yard for inspiration,
Yeah.
what would you say, like a piece of advice to give to new gardeners out there?
Well, honestly, I joined the garden club because I did not know what I was doing, and I've been a member for 3 years. I joined in 2020, and this year was probably my most confident year in gardening. You actually do learn a lot. And ask all of the questions, because that's what I had to do.
Don't be afraid to ask any questions.
right.
All right, very good. Well, thank you very much, Colleen,
Thank
for being
you.
here. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Definitely come check this house out on John Hawk Street, and it'll definitely be one of the best houses you've ever seen. I promise you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate that.
All right. Hello and welcome back to the 29th annual Garden City Garden Club Garden Walk. We are here on Hennepin Street for Norm's beautiful garden here today, and we are actually going to take a look back at his garden from the 2016 Garden Walk and go through the changes that Norm has made to his beautiful, beautiful garden from then until now. Take a look.
Hello and welcome back to the Garden City Garden Club Garden Walk. Right now we're on Cardwell Street over in Garden City at the Sue Varner household. Hello, Sue. How are you?
Hi, Zach. It's good to see you.
We've known each other for a while, so I'm super excited to do this one. Currently it is still raining. The rain has picked up a little bit for this garden walk today. We're underneath your favorite part of the garden, the trumpet vine?
Trumpet vine, yes.
It's got to keep it as dry. She said, well, you go ahead and tell me about it. Why does this make this your favorite part of the garden?
Well, I think in the summer, spring and summer, when I pull up into my driveway, I see my porch in my front yard, and then I see this arbor that goes across, and I know how far back it goes and how my neighbors get to enjoy it too, because they have a pergola and it covers their pergola. It's been here for about at least 20 years. It's a lot of maintenance, but we love it. We just trimmed it like totally back on Tuesday, and look at it already.
So the most of the maintenance you're talking about is just trimming it?
Just trimming, yep.
Okay.
Trimming.
Did you plant this? Did you plan this?
We planted 5 small mail order plants about 20 years ago along the fence line, and now I think we just counted 8 trunks here. Biggest one is probably about 8 inches around, and we love it. You know,
Okay.
It leads into my backyard, and I know, my deck and all that, how pretty that is, so we enjoy it.
All right. And I know you've been living in Garden City for how long?
I grew up here.
Oh.
I actually grew up in this house. My husband and I have been married for 41 years, and we bought this house 33 years ago from my mom, and we added on, and then my mom lived with us for about 20 years here. And we just stayed. We raised our kids, and we've stayed.
And so if this was your mom's house, is there any part of the garden today that's still from when she was gardening at all? Was she gardening?
The only thing that was my mom's from here was the real old-fashioned little rose bushes, the climbing roses in the back. There's
Okay.
a pink one and a red one,
Okay.
and 1 peony bush.
Okay.
So my mom was born in 1920, so she's been gone a few years now, and those are the only 3 things I think that I have left.
All right. I know you're big in the community and stuff. And how long have you been a part of the garden club? And how did you start with this garden walk? Is this your first time in the garden? I'm asking 1,000 questions,
Yeah,
but
so
this is your first time in the garden walk?
This is my first time, and Kim Marquette, Stacy asked me, Stacy Carafotis, and then Kim Marquette caught me somewhere, I forget where, and wanted me to join it. They're both friends, and then Stacy was a little more relentless, and I told her that yesterday, and I was a little nervous, but it all worked out perfectly, and I am so happy that I did it.
Okay, good. So are you in the garden club then? And how long have you been?
No, not yet, but I'm pretty sure they're going to ring me in.
Now you're honorary membership. You got to be in.
Because I did say I wanted a T-shirt, so I guess I have to buy a T-shirt and then get in the garden club.
Pay your membership dues, then you get the
Get the
T-shirt.
T-shirt,
Do the
whole
garden walk again in
thing.
a few years.
Yeah. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it tremendously last night when we did our walk. It was really cool to see all the
Okay.
ideas.
So you guys got to see the other houses last night.
I did. Tim didn't go
Okay.
with me. He chose not to. And then he went today and saw a couple of them and wished he would have went with me.
Yeah, especially to avoid the rain here
Yeah,
that's coming
right,
today.
right.
So is it mostly you in the garden, Tim, helping out, or?
We do it together.
Okay, that's cool.
We do it together. Yeah.
So do you spend a lot of, you work for the school system, so you got your summers to work on your garden?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Okay, well, I guess, is there anything else you need to say to the people
No,
watching for the garden walk?
No. Thank
Any
you
en-
all who came,
Okay.
who walked through in this miserable rain. But, I mean, we enjoyed ourselves.
Any encouragement for those who want to get started in gardening or do something like this?
It
or?
doesn't have to be spectacular. It can just be. It could just be. It
Okay.
can be little. It doesn't matter. Unique. Old things, new things. It really doesn't matter. And I found that out by walking,
Okay.
the other gardens. It's like, it doesn't have to be grandiose,
Yeah.
It's just you. It's about you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Miss Varner,
All
or
right.
Sue Varner.
Yeah.
We're going to take it out from here because it's going to start downpouring on us, and we're already wet enough.
right.
Again, this is from Cardwell Street with Miss Varner's Garden, so thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Miss Varner.
Thank you.
And we're over here on Belton Street. I'm over here with Linda. Thank you for being here today, Linda. I wanted to highlight some of the things about your garden here today. First of all, thank you for being with us. And first of all, how long have you been in this gardening business? You know, you have a vast, beautiful garden. I've seen it myself, the veggies and everything. Tell us a little bit about it and how you started.
Well, I started because I'm a retired chef. I used to work at the Hyatt Regency Dearborn until they left. And after I left there, I recently discovered I became type 2 diabetes like everybody else. So in order to get any decent amount of food, you have to actually process the food and make it yourself to know everything you're putting in your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and that's how I started doing it. People started asking me, and when my daughter was in the military, she wanted jars of the salsa, so it's all government approved by the ladies that was in the sailors. All
Wow.
the lady sailors approved my salsa.
All right, no kidding.
Yeah.
What kind of veggies do you grow?
All the salsa vegetables, the marinara vegetables, you name it, I make it.
You have a vast variety. I can tell. I can definitely tell. After everything that you have grown yourself, have you faced any challenges by after the season? Have you faced any growing challenges, any planting, anything like that?
Yeah, usually with the cucumbers. It's usually after I get so many cucumbers out, they start getting that white powdery fungus on them. And then after that, they all go downhill. Then I know the season's over. I've looked it up online to put stuff on there, to spray stuff on there, not pesticides, but natural stuff. But it still just didn't seem to take out that fungus. So, when it's done, it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very tough process, it seems. If you were to give any advice to anyone who wants to get into gardening themselves, what piece of advice would you give to them?
Well, if you like to save money, and I know I do, then you would get the vegetable. Just put a seed down or get a plant down, water it, give it a little love, and it's a lot cheaper than going to the store and buying that stuff that doesn't even taste like food. It tastes plastic-like.
Very good piece of advice for everybody. I want to thank you for being here today, Linda. We really appreciate it. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that I had, this is our first time with the garden walk, and if anyone hasn't done this, you at least have to try this once, because it was really a lot of fun. We met a lot of nice people, and they had a lot of good gardening tips for us, and we had tips for them.
Good. All right. Well, thank you very much again, Linda, for being here with us today, and that'll be it for today. Thank you.